Hello, everyone. It's Renee with the Weekly Wind. And this week's Wind Spirit card is the Latvian Wind Vēja Māte. And this is all about nourishment this week. And I pulled her at a Spring Equinox ceremony last night at Urban Yoga in Palm Springs. And it was funny, they always come when I'm talking about them. And it's never a surprise that the next wind card that I pull out of the wind sack, is the wind that I was just speaking about. I've come to learn to trust that. And this has been a big moon week. It's a full moon, and it's the spring equinox. So there's a lot of magical energy in the air. So I thought I would tell you a magical story about Vēja Māte. First of all, the background here is a Latvian windscape, and love that I can do a virtual background as long as I don't move my hair too much, or you don't see much of it. Cuts me off a little bit, but it's kind of fun. And so Vēja Māte was pretty much the last wind goddess that made it into Winds of Spirit, because here she goes, because I couldn't find any information on the Latvian wind goddess in English. So right before I gave up looking, I said, I'm going to give it one more try. And what I did was I said, well, maybe I should look for Latvian mythology instead of Latvian wind goddess, because a lot of the wind gods and goddesses were long since gone off of this earth. And like the Yalana in Turkey, there's very little remnants of the nature gods. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll try that. So I'm putting in the Google search, Latvian mythology, and all of a sudden on a Latvian website, a 50-page doctorate thesis about Latvian mythology comes up in English, by all things, and gave me enough information to write this chapter. So talk about nourishment. It's this idea of being nourished in the moment of what you need. And so I love to call upon her, and we'll call her because we want to invoke the Wind Mother when you need comfort and divine intervention. And today, after doing the big Spring Equinox gathering, that the replay is now available, and the one last night, that's a lot of energy output. I probably reached about 400 plus people this week with wind work. So the Latvian, the Vēja Māte, optimism lies at the core of Latvian nature worship. The Wind Mother offers an endless supply of goodness, which is available to those who pay homage to nature. Everything is possible when you take responsibility for your actions. Climb a mountain and sing you praises for the gifts she has bestowed upon you. Are you prone to telling disruptive stories or songs? Vēja Māte encourages you to focus your attention on the abundant gifts of nature and be grateful for the air you breathe. If luck continues to pass you by, Vēja Māte reminds you to forge ahead confidently, because luck will eventually find you. Beware of envy, mistrust, and jealousy. Interesting. I was telling the story last night about how luck found me. Many years ago, when I was maybe in my late 20s, I had this psychic. I did a lot of psychic searching before I found the wind. And she said to me, Renee, calm down. Calm down. You could sit on the curb for the next 20 years and your destiny will find you. At the time, I'm thinking like, well, if it's going to take that long, I'm going to run around and I'm going to do what I got to do because I'll make that luck happen sooner. I heard a great story today is that, luck is when you do the work and then surrender so that the grace can follow. And one of the things that I'm inviting you to do is to start to work with these wind spirit cards by actually pulling a card out of your wind bag. If you don't have this whole set, you can download it for free on thepracticalshaman.com. And when you start to call, it's an oracle, but it's a different kind of an oracle, because you can call to the energies of these winds. So I'm going to call up a nourishing wind. That's what I'm going to invite us to do today. It's Friday afternoon here, and I'm going to invite a nourishing wind to come in and to be with us, and as we approach this next week where it's going to be, the moon's going to disappear. It's going to be, before we come on to that new moon where new beginnings are really going to kick in, let's just bask in the nourishment. So when I call to the wind whistle, when I call with the wind whistle, what I always do is I always use the first whistle to ground myself to the earth. So I see the roots of my feet going way down into the earth. The second one, I call to the Latvian Wind Mother, Vēja Māte. And on the third one, I put myself actually into a protective bubble. And as I call to Vēja Māte, I feel this nurturing love of this nurturing energetic, for the best way I can describe it, encompassing me, saying like, rest, go see the poppy seeds, go see the spring super bloom that's going on in the Southern California desert at the moment, and really take and experience those winds, like the beautiful gentle breezes blowing outside. The temperature is in the 70s here in the desert, where we could be high in the 80s into the 90s by now. We're getting this unseasonably cool spring and gentle breezes, strong winds blowing through, but the beautiful, beautiful desert is in bloom. The mountains are green. There's poppies growing. There's the lavender color flowers. I don't know what those are called. All of nature is aglow here. And so I'm welcoming all of this in with my breath and with my great gratitude. And I hope that you can feel that gratitude coming out to you today, because I want to thank you for listening to me with these weekly winds and joining me and Sandra Ingerman on Sunday at the Shaman's Cave. And also, I launched the Spring Equinox is the Get Started for the Wind Mastery Program, which starts on April 2nd, which is a 5-week intensive wind program where you actually learn how to adjust your sails so that you can glide effortlessly towards your dreams and goals. You can find out more about all of this at thepracticalshaman.com. I'm Renee signing off. Hope you're having an awesome day.